Good evening and welcome to the December 8th, 2015 work session of the Gaston County Board of Commissioners. At this time, we'll have our invocation. It will be delivered by Commissioner Williams, and our Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Commissioner Price.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight, God. We thank you for the beautiful day you've given us. Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to live in this country and in this county, God. We pray for our citizens. We pray for jobs. We pray for health. Lord, we pray that you would bless us, Lord. Most importantly, God, in this month, we've taken time to set aside a period to thank you for sending your Son to die for us and be an atonement for our sins. Lord, most importantly, we thank you for that. We ask you would guide the meeting. Lord, we pray that you would help us to do what's pleasing unto you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. Our first item is an announcement, and I will move that to the County Manager, Earl Mathers.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My job is challenging at times, but then there are those moments that bring me a great deal of satisfaction and joy, and this is one of them. It is with a great deal of pleasure and pride that I want to announce the appointment of Joseph D. Ramey as our next Chief of Police. It is just a fantastic thing to be able to make this appointment to such an outstanding gentleman. Bear with me as I share with you just a few comments about Joe and the contribution I anticipate that he's going to make as chief, and certainly has made in 21 years of service already to the Gaston County Police Department. I think this appointment is extremely well deserved, in part because of the credentials that Joe has, which are outstanding. He is a local boy that began his educational experience at Gaston College, where he attained an AS in criminal justice, and then a BS in criminal justice from UNCC. Went on to get an MBA from Gardner-Webb, and he's also a graduate of the FBI Academy. So his educational credentials are very strong, but I think much more importantly, he has just the strength of character, the integrity, the courage to attain a high level of excellence in law enforcement, and certainly as our next Chief of Police. He's married to Dr. Joy Cole, and we're going to ask her to join us in just a minute. They have a son, Aaron, and Joe serves as a deacon at Parkwood Baptist, and I know that how demanding that kind of a position can be. But that's not the only thing. He's involved in all sorts of community activities and contributes in a very significant way. He's a humble man. He's extremely dedicated and persevering. I think he maintains the attitude of a servant in a very important sense. He's intelligent, compassionate, and really brings to the table so much more than you might expect in a typical law enforcement officer. He's willing to listen. He, just has a certain compassion about him that is hard to describe, but I've seen it in action. I do want to bring his wife up here in just a moment, and we're going to make a presentation of his new badge and everything like that. But I do want to say, too, that I just ask that God bless Joe in this new role, and that he work through you to achieve everything that you want to accomplish in the role as Gaston County's Chief of Police. Joe. I'm going to turn this podium over to Joe in just a second, but I would be very much remiss if I didn't also mention the outstanding service that Chief James Bowie has provided over recent years, and certainly to the department for 30 years, which is a lifetime for many. But his contributions are just so outstanding, it would be impossible to even enumerate them at this time. But you all know about it. You know the fantastic leadership that he's provided, and I couldn't be more thankful to the good Lord for the quality of leadership that we've had. Joe?
Thank you, Mr. Mathers. Thank you for your confidence in appointing me to this position. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I'd like to thank you as well for your confidence and the honor of being your chief of the Gaston County Police Department. I didn't write a speech, so I may forget something, but I'm going to take a stab at it. A little nervous. But 21 years ago, I came to Gaston County Police Department, and one of my goals was to be chief of police. And not everybody gets that opportunity. There's only been 10 of us. And so that's a high bar, and I'm very blessed to have gotten to this point, and very honored to have gotten to this point. I have to thank quite a few groups of individuals and people for the next few minutes. First of all, I'd like to thank the good Lord above, who has blessed me and led me and guided me through these many years and led me to this position and to this point today. I have to thank my wife and son, obviously. Behind every good man is a great woman, and I am certainly blessed in that regards. She takes great care of me, and I wouldn't be here without her, and of course our son Aaron. I have to thank all my family members, brothers and sisters, my parents, hopefully are watching from above and are happy and smiling that their son, who grew up in small town Cramerton, has been able to come to this point in his life and reach the pinnacle of his career. And again, I have to thank all of my family members who have supported me throughout the years and gave me advice. I have an Uncle Jim who couldn't be here tonight, but he's a retired police officer who's given me great wisdom and guidance through the years, and many other friends. I have Steve and Pam Barkley in the audience today from Rainbow Paint and Wallpaper. They hired me out of high school to take a delivery job, and allowed me to pay and work my way through college and pay my way through college working in their paint store. And of course, that was a college education within itself, working in the paint store. Met hundreds of individuals who had a great influence on my life. And you just learn so much working in retail and dealing with folks and people. And it was a great pleasure and great honor to work with them and Mr. Wood and Jerry Clemens and family. It's a family business, and I was honored to have been there for the 9 years that I was there. Certainly, I have to thank the men and women of the Gaston County Police Department that I've worked with for the past 21 years. All of them have influenced me in one way or another. You can't get to this position without a great team. We have a great team. As you know, historically, the county police was formed 57, 58 years ago to eliminate politics and things out of law enforcement locally, and to be a professional representation to the public and to the citizens of Gaston County. And through that 57 years, we've had great leadership and great teams who've done that. And to them, I would like to say we need to continue that tradition. As you know, in the public today and in the media today, police face an uphill battle. There's agencies across the country who've made some grave mistakes. As police officers, we are the frontline defenders of the Constitution. And being that frontline defender and defending the Constitution comes great responsibility to our citizens and to those that we serve. And we cannot put ourselves above that very Constitution. When we do that, our country will fail as a democracy. And when we fail to uphold the Constitution, we have incidents like you've seen across the country occur that demean the trust of the public. We can't do our jobs without a great relationship and building great relationships and trust with the public. And we look forward and we pledge to the public that we will be that professional agency that you expect, and that we will treat all of you, because all of you matter to us, we will treat you with great dignity and respect, and that we will work to build that trust and maintain that trust that others that have come before us have already built. And that is our pledge to you. And we will look forward to working with you over the next many months, years to come, to make Gaston County a great place to live, work, and play. And again, it is indeed a great honor to be named your police chief. And thank you so much. And I would be remiss if I too didn't say thank you to my mentor, Chief Bowie. He has been a great leader, a great mentor to many of us in this room and many who have gone before us, and a great friend. And so thank you so much again.
At this time, are there any comments from the board? Commissioner Brown.
Joe, congratulations. It's not a, I don't know if it's congratulatory, you've earned it. And thank you for your service so far. We look forward to working with you in the future. I know your staff is impeccable. Those guys go to work every day. And Chief Bowie, thank you for putting up with us for a little while. It's been a great, but I look forward to the time we get to spend with you. You've been the night that we had 2 police officers, unfortunately, were shot. You acted, I've never seen anybody act like that in that particular chaos. But thank you for your service, and we look forward to what we can do in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. And again, I can't thank the staff enough. They're great.
Commissioner Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Joe, I appreciate all you've done. I had the privilege of meeting Joe through our Leadership Gaston, and the name he chose for himself back then was Justice Joe, is what we called him, and that was very fitting, and I think it's a very good title for you, Chief. So I appreciate you and all you've done. I think Steve was in the class with us, and we can all attest to just the character and the integrity that you've got, and I appreciate you being willing to take this position. I've seen everything from how you acted in Leadership Gaston to throwing high and tight and coach pitch, on the 8-year-olds at Bethlehem.
Yes.
So, maybe go a little easier on the kids whenever
You have to brush them back every once
you
in a
got.
while.
So I appreciate all you do in the community. Chief Bowie, to you, thank you very much for your service, my friend. Look forward to it.
Commissioner Keeger.
Yeah, Chief, I just wish you the best, and you and all the folks in law enforcement. You're correct. It seems like it's an uphill battle whenever you flip on the TV or look at Facebook, but I wish you all safe goings. And retired Chief Bowie, you back there?
Yes.
Thanks for all you've done, and I hope to see you around. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'll make just a few, first to retiring Chief Bowie. Thank you. Your integrity, honesty, willing to shoot it straight, I think has definitely served you well. I wish you only the best. Chief Ramey, when I think of you, when I talked to Earl and your name was brought up, and he's here, my first words were integrity. When I think of you, that's what I see from seeing you in the community, different events and things of that nature. And this is a good day. It should be celebrated. Many times law enforcement officers these days, they're not respected, and it's a battle. But the Gaston County Police Department has done a wonderful job in creating a professional image, being fair, and I know that will continue. So thank you, and I wish you only the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Our next item is a Judge William Gaston Awards presentation. Commissioner Price is going to read the history on the presentation, and then Commissioner Brown will be presenting to Dr. Gina Ramsey.
A very important part of this board's mission is to encourage citizen participation in county government and community involvement. In 1998, the County Commission established an annual award bearing the name of the county's namesake, Judge William Gaston, to recognize those volunteers who have demonstrated exemplary commitment, dedication, and leadership. Since its establishment, the County Commission has honored 55 recipient volunteers for their services to the Gaston County community. Tonight, the Board of Commissioners has the privilege of presenting the William Gaston Award to Dr. Gina Ramsey. At this time, I'd like to ask Dr. Ramsey to come to the podium along with any family and friends she may have with her to receive the William Gaston Award.
I'll give them a second just to get out, and then we'll do the presentation. Clear, right?
It's like that TV at night.
Longtime Gaston County resident and graduate of Ashbrook High School, Dr. Gina Ramsey knew early that she had been called to help people. After Gina worked several years as a paralegal, she answered the call and returned to college to obtain a nursing degree from Queen's University in Charlotte. Gina's career focus had quickly turned to helping people one-on-one. She worked in critical care at Caramont Regional Medical Center, caring for high acute patients and the emergency room of Cleveland Healthcare Systems and the Presbyterian Hospital in Huntersville. Like so many driven individuals who understand that excellence can only be achieved through constant learning and practice, Gina went to pursue her Master's of Science in Nursing degree and Doctorate of Nursing Practice degree while attending Duke University. She is a family nurse practitioner and holds many certifications, including the American Academy of Nurse Practitioner Certification, and she is an active member of the North Carolina Nurses Association and the American Nurses Association. Dr. Ramsey is currently employed with Caramont Family Medicine in Gastonia, where she devotes her knowledge and expertise and to caring for all types of patients within the county. She also shares her talents through volunteer various hours and organizations throughout the county and has helped many indigent citizens. She was appointed to the Gaston County Health Board in 2012. She continues to serve on the board as its consolidation with the Social Services Board. She continues to work to her fellow board members on the Consolidated Health and Human Services Board to ensure the health, safety, and well-being of Gaston County citizens. She also serves as the Community Child Protection Team, Child Fatality Prevention Team, and strives to help find gaps in the system in order to protect children of Gaston County. She held many honors, including members of the Sigma Theta Chi International Honor Society of Nursing and the Phi Theta Kappa National Honor Society. She was also class representative at the Presbyterian School of Nursing. In 2011, she collaborated with the health science professionals in the North Carolina Search Program, as well as community members in Kinston, North Carolina, to design a program that addresses obesity and its relationship to chronic disease and diabetes. She also serves as a preceptor nurse practitioner with Frontier Nursing University, where she mentors family nurse practitioner students during her clinical rotations. This tireless public servant and mother of four attributes success of her great support system. Her family, who gave her a side the entire journey, were by her side. She was recently quoted as saying, "I absolutely love what I do." Perhaps the simple statement best sums it up, but her spirit and passion for serving others. Gina, the County Commission is indebted to you for your many years of service and for continuing efforts for the Gaston County to be a better place. On behalf of the Gaston County Board of Commissioners, it is my pleasure to present you with the William Gaston Award. And she did run here tonight all the way thinking about Duke, Commissioner Price, as she was talking about how bad Carolina was. So
Take your time, talk about Duke a little bit.
I want to thank everyone. Wow, this is an honor. I'm humbled, and I just can't say enough. Thank you. That's all I've got.
Our next item is proclamations, commendations, awards, and certificates. First up, or I think the only one up, is Commissioner Keeger. It is a proclamation for Holy Angels Day of December the 20th, 2015, celebrating the 60th anniversary of Holy Angels. Commissioner Keeger.
Sister, you and your troops want to come up? We have Sister Nancy Nance from Sacred Heart, Dennis Kuhn, the Chief Operating Officer, not CEO, and Lorraine Giannini. Very good. Well, I'm from Jersey. How are you? Just so you. This is really a special treat. We all do many of these over the course of the years. And one of the individuals mentioned in here, Maria Morrow, who passed away a few years ago, 5 years ago. I was privileged to know her and met her some 40 years ago when I first came here to attend Belmont Abbey. And I can remember as a fraternity pledge going over to Holy Angels when it was really small in the very early 70s, throwing Halloween parties or things like that. You were Wonder Woman? I was Superman. But let me, without further ado, get on to the actual proclamation. Whereas 60 years ago, a baby girl, Maria Morrow, born with special needs, became Holy Angel's first angel and grew to be the inspiration for many children, adults, and families who witnessed all she achieved during her remarkable legacy of 54 years. And whereas for 60 years, as a sponsored ministry of the Sisters of Mercy, Holy Angels in Belmont, North Carolina, has been a place of love, living, and learning for the differently able, and is committed to helping those children and adults, many who have delicate medical conditions, reach their greatest potential through quality, innovative programs and services. And whereas Holy Angels continues to be a strong economic and educational partner in Gaston County, and this amazes me, employing some 330 citizens and providing opportunities for community involvement and support through its numerous community partnerships, educational programs, and volunteer opportunities. And whereas Holy Angels continues to reach out to its youngest Gaston County citizens to inspire community involvement and to foster compassion for those with intellectual developmental disabilities through its Hands Around the School programs and its Pride in Gaston County Empathy program for third graders. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Gaston County Board of Commissioners proclaim December 20th, 2015 as Holy Angels Day in Gaston County and extends grateful appreciation to the Sisters of Mercy and the staff of Holy Angels for their unconditional love, nurturing, and support of children and adults with the developmental disabilities. And this will be adopted later this evening officially. And at this time, I'd like to offer a round of applause for the services. Who's going to speak first? You? Dennis Kuhn.
Thank you, Commissioner. It is indeed a privilege to be a part of Holy Angels. I've been Holy Angels some 17 years. And on behalf of Regina Moody and all the staff, we thank you for recognizing once again with your love and support to Holy Angels. Many of you are familiar faces here, and you know what it is. We face many, many challenges on a daily basis serving this difficult population at times, but they bring a blessing to us in so many ways. So this recognition means a whole lot to us. It means a whole lot to us to the fact that we've reached this mark of 60 years, which we think is absolutely remarkable. And we believe that we are, as was stated here, we are really make a contribution to Gaston County in many, many ways. A lot of the whole spiritual energy of which we're about. So on behalf of everyone, I just say thank you all very much.
I've been at Holy Angels for 30 years of the 60 years and have had the privilege of working with many families and many of our residents, and actually lived for 16 years in one of our group homes, and Lorraine was one of the residents that I lived with. For our 60th anniversary, we will be having a special celebration on our campus on December 20th, which is a Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock, and we will have a brief program followed by what we call Winter Wonderland, which was established the year Maria died as a way of celebrating her life and the legacy that she left us, and which is her actual birthday. So we invite you all to come, and we thank you for this honor and for this recognition on behalf of Holy Angels. Thank you. Thank you.
Right up here.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
This time, certificates of appreciation for public service. It is a great pleasure for the Gaston County Commissioners to honor citizens who have unselfishly given of their time, talent, skills, and energies in service as an appointee to one of the boards or commissions. This type of service is a foundation for citizen involvement in our county government and is helping shape the future of our community. We gratefully acknowledge the work of the following individuals, and certificates of appreciation have been forwarded to them. Mark Allman, Billy Joy, of Farmers Relief Fund trustees. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next item is citizen recognition. A portion of the board's agenda is set aside for the purpose of allowing citizens an opportunity to offer comments or suggestions. The comment period is not intended to require the commission and/or staff to answer any impromptu questions or provide a response. Questions requiring a response shall be answered as soon as possible through the county manager's office. Comments will be limited to 5 minutes. As I call your name, please step to the podium, state your name and address. The first citizen signed up to speak is Mr. Harding Stowe.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm here as president of the Daniel Stowe Botanical Garden, 6500 South New Hope Road in Belmont. Beginning the week before Thanksgiving and running until the 3rd of January, the garden offers its Holidays at the Garden. This has become the single most popular event at the Daniel Stowe Botanical Garden. We roll out the royal red carpet for visitors near and far. In October, I made a presentation to the Gaston County Travel and Tourism and specifically asked them to match our advertising budget. I received a notice a few days later that the answer was no, 0. To give you a little background, we spend $100,000 on this program. Each year we buy new lights, new exhibits, new designs. We install it all, and we have a $25,000 budget for advertising. In addition, we take 2,000 man-hours to install 750,000 lights. We have horse-drawn carriage rides. We have our orchid tree with 350 orchids. It's a huge effort. We have local choirs, Santa Claus, the whole thing. Travel and Tourism has $1 million in the bank. Not drawing any interest, no purpose. And it's personally frustrating to me that they can't find the funds to support this effort. Besides being personally frustrated, in my role as the president of Botanical Garden, I answer to our board, our members, and in this case, more importantly, our staff, because to put on this effort is huge. We're a daytime operation 11 months a year, but during Christmas, we become a nighttime operation. So all of our staff has to turn their lives around. It's quite a sacrifice. Good weather, bad weather, all weather, every night. And it's, on behalf of them, I'm here tonight to tell you that this is a disgrace. This effort is as good as anything that happens in Gaston County, and zero support from tourism.
Is that all you have, Mr. Stokes?
Yes.
Okay. What I will do is I will definitely get with the county manager and have you a response tomorrow.
Thank you.
And that's the first I've heard of that. But we will definitely check into that and get you a response.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day. Our next citizen signed up to speak is Mr. Don Barkley.
You know that's your name, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Even without a name tag, Don Barker, 3101 Whitson Road in Gastonia. If I can, Mr. Chairman, I just want to share a few thoughts with you on the article in Sunday's paper about the Political Action Committee. To quote, they want new and different ideas, which is all right. The incumbents need to be more open and flexible. Well, I have never had any trouble with anybody on the board being open. Sometimes we disagree, but that's to be expected. Just because you don't get your way is no reason to say somebody's not open. I can talk to any commissioner here, anybody on the staff. I've never had that trouble. The question is, what is their position on the Garden Parkway? Are they for it or against it? Well, they never would say. But it would be nice, and to quote one of them, I didn't understand this attempting alignment and has evolved to be more communicating. We always communicated pretty well, I thought. Now, it says Williams and Philbeck are severely misinformed. Gee, I'm sorry about that, but that's the reason we have public recognition. I don't see any of them here tonight. Let's check the sunshine list. How many of the people that are complaining are actually on the sunshine list? I came to this room when David Klein was chairman. They hadn't even finished building the place. We have a good facility here. It's good for the public to come in, and they've got 5 minutes. I've got 5 minutes. That's enough for me. So I'm just thinking, why not invite them to come make a presentation and just find out specifically what they're opposed to? They want more growth. Well, I noticed the next thing on the agenda is Mr. Booker from the school system. They wanted to support the schools. Occasionally I've seen people from the schools come in wanting money. I don't know what he wants tonight. I would be surprised if he doesn't want money. So they want a greater business across the river to fill up the schools so you can put even more money into the schools. Because he doesn't have any overcrowding now, does he? Not a bit. Now, there was one other report that I happened to find going back in something years ago. I was looking through the check register, and according to the question I had for Mr. Keeger, why does Gaston County give money to the Chamber of Commerce? Well, that is for economic development. So are they dissatisfied with themselves for not having enough economic development in Gaston County? It seems like it is, so I would say it's not much money, but you could save yourself a couple of $1,000s a year. And Donna, would you pass this over to the chairman? So I'm just sharing some thoughts with you. But I think the worst thing is we've got 7 commissioners who will not let the school board have their meetings in this room on public television. Wouldn't that gain support for the school system? And I think that's the only thing the commissioners should be ashamed about, is not allowing the school board to use this room.
For the record, I don't think anyone has an issue with that.
I believe they do, because you know the school board would love to come in here.
I think they do televise their own meetings now.
Okay, well, but, in closing, let me bring up one last word. In the past several years, every time somebody used the word equality, we think it has something to do with race. But with what I read in Sunday's paper, the word equality is used to mean that some people are more equal than others. So beware, just keep them at this podium in this room. I'm not opposed to new ideas. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Don. Next up is Mr. Jim Gallagher, City Councilman Jim Gallagher.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Jim Gallagher, 1340 Bucknell Avenue, Gastonia, North Carolina. This will be short and brief, okay? Opportunity knocks once, and I believe that it's happening now with the hospital funds being shared with each county commissioner's district. It seems that Commissioner Jason Williams has already met with Mayor John Bridgman and City Manager Ed Munn to discuss several projects that could help our citizens and benefit our children. Proposed ideas have included a splash park at Irwin Center, money going to the Shield Museum so that Gaston County school children can take class trips there free of charge. And several other items have come up, I'm sure, Jason. My plea here is for Commissioner Tom Keeger to reconsider his position on turning his funds back into the county and instead use that money to make a difference in Gastonia that will enrich the lives of the citizens and the children there. One way to accomplish that would be to make a splash park at Martha Rivers. This will cost about $300,000 plus about $100,000 for parking and a picnic shelter where parents can have shade while watching their children run and play in the splash park. Commissioner Keeger, this will pay dividends to many of the children in southern Gastonia. If anyone has ever brought their children over to the splash park at Lineberger Park, I am sure you found, as I have, that it brings a lot of joy to the children playing there and to the parents watching their children seeing their children having fun. Please reconsider your decision on how to use the money and consider to use it to benefit the citizens and the children in our community for now and for years to come. It'll help with the quality of life in Gastonia. Jason, I appreciate you, and Tom, I appreciate what you also consider, but to help the quality of life in southern Gastonia, I'd like you to just reconsider your position on that. And thank you very much, Commissioners.
I think Commissioner Williams wanted to make a...
Mr. Councilman Gallagher, I did want to point out real quick, I did meet with Ed, just kind of went over what the grant process was. I just want to remind you and the rest of the council that we have the grant process, so that we have the application, that if the city or if anybody has any projects they want to be considered, that we're going through that process. So if there's anything like this particular idea here that you've got, if you'll run that through the application process with the county manager.
Sure.
We're certainly going to review all of them and take a look at everything. But
is there an application
there is. So if you'll touch base with the county manager, there's a process we're going through. So we'd love to hear any ideas.
Sure.
I got 5 kids. They love the splash pad at Lineberger Park. You're exactly right. And I think I see Tracy out there all the time playing in there with the kids. So it's.
Can you tell the difference? No.
Okay. So, anyway, I did want to point that out, that we do have a formal process that we're going through.
Okay, so we could submit them that way. Do you submit one application per project, or is it?
If you just want to meet with the county manager, he can give you all that, and you guys can go over it.
Okay. It does? Okay, thank you. Appreciate it, Commissioner.
And Earl, I was asked the other day about that, someone asked me they would like to see that that's a process. I guess there's this idea that I guess we're just going to take 500 and give it to our best buddies. But there's an actual process that talks about economic development and talks about education and what it needs to go to. If you could send that to me, so I can send that to the individual that asked that question. So I think that will clear a lot of rumors up that are not true. Thank you. Our next item is a presentation from Mr. Jeff Booker of Chromebook Carts Update. Some very good news about our positive investment in Gaston County schools. Mr. Booker.
Good evening, Chairman Philbeck, Vice Chairman Carper, and all of the commissioners. We appreciate the ability to be here tonight, and I am going to yield the mic to our chairman, Kenneth Lutz, to begin our presentation. And you're going to have an army come forward of a lot of technology to show you what you have enabled your school system to do, and we appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Booker. Mr. Chair, I would like to clarify I am here tonight with Mr. Booker, but I am not asking for money. All right. We really appreciate you taking the time to give us a few moments tonight so we can show you what your investment is doing for Gaston County schools. With the $1.1 million that you invested in the school systems, we were able to purchase 4,385 Chromebooks. A Chromebook is basically a laptop computer. After we did that, we were able to make 146 sets, commonly known as Chromebook carts, so they can be moved from one classroom to the other. So we've put this technology in our schools, and we're currently distributing these to our schools right now, and there is no one-sided distribution. We're going to the far north, to the far south, east, west. Every school will be touched by this technology, and I think that's very important to be known. Every child in this county is going to be touched. But this opens up a latitude. It opens up a great deal of things for our teachers. They can individualize their lesson plans. They can individualize. One child needs something a little bit different than another child. They get responses back from the children quicker, and they can make adjustments as they need to. But what you're about to hear tonight, you're going to get a small example of what's going on in our schools, and we really do appreciate that, and we would like to say thank you again. And I wanted to, Cindy Matson is going to make the presentation.
And before you get started, we do have two hospital board members here, Miss Annette Carter and Donnie Loftus. I just wanted to thank them as well. I want to let people know where this came from. Due to the lease with the hospital, $1.1 million of that money outside of the county budget, we invested over the budget into this project that will touch every person in Gaston County schools. And I just wanted to give some acknowledgement to that. And I think former board member Jim Bailey's here and Mr. Bob Crouch. Did want to recognize them as well. But that's a big deal, and it's a good way to show people this money is not being wasted. It's been invested in the community. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to explain to you what these Chromebooks are doing. First of all, we use Google Apps for Education. That is a cloud-based suite of applications that our students can use at no cost. Google Apps can actually be used on any type of device at all. It's not a specific device because it is a cloud-based platform. The best thing about Google Apps is there's no installation to be done to any computer to utilize it. Also, everything is automatically saved. I'm sure you've had documents that you forgot to save and lost something. In this, it's automatically saved every 2 seconds. This is a great way for our students to collaborate with their teachers. They can share documents immediately. It's not like a Word document where you have version 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Multiple people can work on a document at the same time and make changes. It also gives you a history, so if somebody makes a mistake on a document, you can revert very easily back to something and see exactly who made the changes on the document. We're in very good company because 85% of the school districts in North Carolina use some part of Google Apps. The best product to use with Google Apps happens to be a Chromebook. A Chromebook is a wonderful device because unlike a laptop that has a battery life of 3 to 5 hours, a Chromebook has a 10-hour battery life, so it lasts for the entire school day. It doesn't require any recharging during the day. It's instant on. The machine logs in less than 10 seconds. There's over 1,000 free web applications that our students and teachers can use. It has a single sign-on process. There are no viruses because there's nothing installed on the device. Every single time a user logs in, it has a fresh install. It's just like it's a brand new install or a new device. The cost is under $200 per device. And the best thing is because of the generosity of the hospital and the approval of the county commission, we now have a ratio of 1.9 students to every Chromebook in our school district. Right now, my staff is bringing forward what a Chromebook looks like. And you're going to see our instructional technology facilitators are going to show you exactly what our Chromebooks are. What we'd like to show you now is what our students are doing with these Chromebooks.
Okay, guys, we did have some headphones for you, but we thought it'd be better just to play it out and start the videos all at the same time, and you can listen to the audio from the main video, so you don't have to put the headphones in. But the kids would be using headphones. Okay?
We're ready.
Play.
Love Chromebooks because they allow us to communicate with our peers more effectively. And considering that technology is so big today and will be in our future, it's important that we're able to be comfortable with them so that in the future we know how to prepare for the real world.
We read a book called Island of the Blue Dolphins. After we were done reading the book, we made a blabber. We made a blabber about the main character in the Island of the Blue Dolphins.
We made a poplet about people that might not be in Gaston County, and if they want to come, they can go. They know where the services are at: firefighter, police officer, paramedic, and mailman. They know about historical landmarks. They know different schools, and right here it's naming a lot of different restaurants to go to.
My favorite thing on a Chromebook is to read.
Happy every single morning because when I wake up, I get to know that I get to use a Chromebook at school. Thank you for Chromebooks.
Favorite thing to do on a Chromebook is play reading games.
I like to play math games and make movies on the Chromebooks.
I like having the Chromebooks because it allows me to have access to materials and notes that my teachers prepare for me using programs like Google Classroom and Schoology.
I like reading books on my Chromebooks.
Thank you for all the Chromebooks. Gracias por los Chromebooks.
Thank you for the Chromebooks. Thank you. Thank you.
That's a nice cameo there by Miss Brown.
we just want you to know what you did, what the hospital did, board members that we have Ms. Roberts here along with Mr. Lutz, and the leadership you showed is impacting children immediately. That money, you recall, was approved the first week in November. The first week in December, those devices started arriving, these carts. And so I had the pleasure of being at a school for an athletic event, and one of the members of GGDC came up to the principal and said, "What about a Chromebook cart? What does that mean?" His response was, "Game changer." And in that high school with 1,200 students, they went from 7 Chromebook carts to an additional 9, which means they have 16. So folks, that's what you did. That's what this does, and we just wanted you to know that we appreciate that. So thank you for your support of our school system.
Wow, very cool. Thank you. Any comments from the board?
Let me,
Commissioner Carpenter?
Mr. Booker, it appears you were touching all grade levels.
Yes, sir.
How many more you need?
Well,
You're not asking for money. I know Don said.
We would love to do one more sweep like this, because over the last 2 years, working the two boards collaborative, we have put over 10,000 devices in our school system. But remember, we were woefully behind, and historically, our schools, it was left to the school community to raise those funds and do it school by school. The joint work and the leadership, we have put those 10,000 devices from a central funding source. And so it is, again, offering those changes. So we still have that 1.9 is 1.9 children to one device. We want to work closer to that. But also recognizing the Chromebook is one of many devices that we have out there in our schools. There's a place for an iPad. There's a place for the traditional desktop, laptop. This is one that just opens the world, and it's done in a very effective from a cost standpoint.
Was one of those students a plant?
I, sir, saw the video yesterday. I had nothing to do with the content. These great instructional facilitators put this together for you. I said, rather than have children here and not knowing the length of your meeting and keeping them out, we wanted to bring them to you that way.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Price?
Thank you. Mr. Booker, I guess if we could make some determination when you mentioned the word game changer, and you may not be able to this, but some of the teachers might, but when in the day and age of electronics, it seems all ages are attracted to some type of gadgetry. When could we expect to see the end of the school year affect in a positive way by technology, or I don't know, is it too early to assume something could happen this year? Is it the game going to be changed that quick?
The game, just as you saw the diversity in our school system, the use of devices is an equalizer for the child that may be on this level and the child that may be on this level. It allows our classrooms to differentiate without putting stigmatism to it. It allows the teacher to collect data and use that data to facilitate on a day-to-day basis, not on a one-time assessment and a push. So, Mr. Price, I will tell you that with a graduation rate that has gone up 6 consecutive years, a graduation rate that went from 68 to 86.3, that is above the state average, we are making strides in our classrooms every day. We are blessed to have 1,900 teachers out there that work, and this facilitates and supports those teachers, but it is one tool. No tool replaces an outstanding educator. And that's what this will do. So I tell you that we are working every day to deliver better results. And if you looked at the report cards that released on each of our schools last week, you see gains across our district. We still have roads to go down and miles to travel, but we're moving forward. To say to you that we'll do better just because of these devices, we're doing better because of dedicated folks working every day.
Commissioner Brown?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Booker. I guess the biggest thing is your board, their vision, along with the group that stands along behind you, seeing the strides that you've made. I guess one thing I would like to challenge you to bookmark also is where these change from the Chromebooks getting to by the time they graduate. I think you'll see probably a different graduation rate. And not only that, the workforce development part that this provides. And that's where, and we had talked about it before when you came to talk at your presentation the first time. I think that's where your dividends are going to be really paid, rather than seeing, smiles on people's faces because they understand it. But I think, 5, 10 years down the road, as these people start graduating and getting jobs, because it's hard to learn these type of programs. And so your staff is great. And Jason, that's a shameless plug, but thank you.
Well, and also, Commissioner Brown, what you see is, to your point, the children and reaching them where they are. This impacts dropout rate, which impacts graduation rate, because we're meeting them with the way they communicate. And so it's an exciting time to be in education.
Commissioner Williams?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to point out that this is actually another step, another brick that we laid, I think going back to 2013, where this board funded putting Wi-Fi in every school. So I think we laid that foundation there, and I think this was just the perfect complement to that, and being able to use that investment that we made across the county. And so a great video. It's good to see that. I think, when you say game changer, if nothing else, having small kids, the difference is what you saw in that video, they were excited to learn. So it wasn't necessarily what they were learning, but the fact that they were eager to learn something. And you just saw it in their face and in their voice and their tone. This just wasn't a video that you could look and make these kids act a certain way. You could tell that they were very excited about having these Chromebooks. So.
And did you hear how many times they used the word, "I made"?
Yeah.
So they're using it. It's not just watching.
So I noticed that. I think very good tool, and I'm excited that we're able to do this. So, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other comments? I'll just make a few because this is, thankfully, my last day as chairman. I just want to say it's a pleasure, Kenny, to work with you. I know that in the past, the commission and the school board, to be quite honest, kind of had some strains, but I think we have made definite strides. Again, I think the Wi-Fi project, I think
2 new schools.
Yeah, $55 million investment this year, over the next couple of years, that is going into 3 schools, if I'm correct. And I think that's a good thing. Catherine, it's with you. I don't know if there's any other school board members here, but it's a pleasure. And I think we've got a lot of good things done. Most people really don't know. I was talking to a gentleman the other day, and said, "What are you doing for education?" I'm like, "You'd be surprised at what we've been able to get accomplished working together. We don't always agree, but I think working together across the aisle has been very good." I just want to say, Kenny and Catherine, it's been a pleasure to work with you, and Jeff as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you to this team. They did a great job.
And we don't get to keep the Chromebooks?
No, sir. They have an ID number on them. We will get one.
It'll be front page tomorrow if we did. So. Other matters.
Just
Commissioner Keeger.
This will save me an email. I was over in Belmont today at the Abbey, and it was brought to my attention. Somebody wanted me to forward on to the school officials regarding the middle school. We all know that they've got a very crowding situation over at Belmont Middle School. And this person just wanted me to relay the message that there's a group of folks in the Belmont area that would love to see a new high school built somewhere over that way and use South Point High School for the middle school. So I'm passing it on. Jeff, it saves me an email.
And I would say they would probably need to talk to their Gaston County School Board.
That's what I told them.
Thank you. Other matters. Donna, I want to, one of the things when I came on the board that I wanted to do was to make, not that things were not transparent, but make them more transparent. Thankfully, with Donna coming on as clerk, and she's going to explain a little bit about what we're doing. With all these computers up here, it's really state of the art. I will say with this system, your Gaston County Commission will be the most transparent, easily accessible, and easily able to find information than anywhere in the state of North Carolina. And none of that would happen without Ms. Buff and our IT guys putting a ton of work. And it doesn't look like much. You really don't see it now. But there will be a time where we vote right here on a pad to where we can request to speak right here on a pad. It will save money over time because you don't have all these papers. And normally, when you get a document or a board meeting, it's normally way thicker than this. Stuff has to be mailed out. But you can save a ton of money not doing that. And Donna, if you want to just talk a little bit about what we're doing, why we're doing, and why it's important to the public. Thank you, Donna. And when you see us mess up here over the next couple of weeks of trying to get used to the system, you'll know why.
It'll be your fault. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, I just want to say it wasn't just my idea. That was this board actually asked me when I was appointed back in 2012 to pursue paperless agendas. And of course, I was brand new and was just learning what we do, what my job was all about, what it all had encompassed. But eventually I started exploring the paperless world for local governments, and I found out pretty quickly it's not just getting rid of paper copies of agendas. It's managing an agenda system and applying some integrated solutions and creating efficiencies that we just couldn't do. We were as efficient as we could be with the kind of, I wouldn't say it was outdated technology, but it was just kind of, well, pieced together. And so we started looking. I started looking, and then I thought, I'm going to have to bring the IT folks on board because it really is there are a lot of options out there. We looked at what our current processes were and what we thought we could gain some efficiencies in, and then we started looking at at software companies, different solution opportunities, and we finally settled on Granicus, and it took quite a long time to figure out what do we think paperless is, what do we want it to be, and how do we want to make this, how do we want to share this with staff and make this whole process better, not just run an efficient meeting, but how can we integrate and get rid of a lot of duplicate efforts. So I started working right away with Brandon Jackson, who was our former IT director, but he immediately put me in touch with Daniel Love. I think Daniel was here earlier, and Richard Dodd, he is here, and they have been phenomenal. They have actually done more of the legwork on this, especially Richard. Once we identified Granicus as who we wanted to go with, we immediately started the process for planning, the deployment, the configuration, the training, and there was some staff training because this is a soup to nuts product. We're starting from draft all the way through to what we're doing tonight is streaming live. It may be maybe the next meeting before we can get the on-demand video up and available the next day, but this is actually streaming live on our public-facing database, and we hope to have everything in place as much as we can by January 12th, and then by January 26th meeting, we are going to actually be pushing the motions out to you guys so you can at least see, the actual motions for each item. So again, it's from drafting the item all the way to streaming, and then the next day, folks will be able to pull up the video and pull up each individual item, agenda item, and it's time-stamped to that particular segment of the video. So
And that part alone, normally,
Big time
if you go to look at information, we've got the information on the website, but you have to dig, could be hours of material to get to one spot. What this is going to allow you to do is any action, you can go directly to that action, see it, see all the documentation, and see the whole process of how that agenda item came to be. It's all documented.
yeah, and I just want to, I can't thank enough Richard Dodd. I don't know if he's back there or not, but he has done tremendous amount of work. This system is so robust. So many pieces touch so many other pieces, and if it weren't for Richard, we would not be ready tonight. So I just want to thank him. And then, of course, Marcella and Angela are incredible. And a lot of people only just see me at meetings. Occasionally Marcella will come. But it's definitely a team effort, and I'm hoping this will open up a lot more opportunities for us to serve the public and be that public liaison and offer more services, improve the services for the public. So
Well,
we're
thank you.
excited.
And we're excited. Again, it's not sexy. It's not going to be front page, but it is a huge step, many man hours, a lot of work went into this. And at the end of the day, it is going to make us probably, I'm going to say probably one of the most transparent boards in the state of North Carolina with all the information you will have right at your fingertips. And I think that's a good thing. So thank you, Donna.
You're welcome.
And even Joe's understanding. It took a while. That's good. This concludes our regular meeting for tonight. Our next regular meeting, this concludes our work session for tonight. We will have a regular meeting here in just a moment. And part of that, we have to delete these iPads and then open back up in a joint session. So it's going to take probably give us about 5 minutes. This is the first time we're running this system.
I thought we did the
I did it.
reset.
I did it on a one finger touch.
Good evening and welcome to the December 8th, 2015 regular meeting of the Gaston County Board of Commissioners. My name is Tracy Philbeck. I serve as chairman of the board as well as commissioner for the Dallas Township. I'd like to welcome our viewers and thank Time Warner Cable and AT&T for making this possible for our citizens. For our television audience, I'd like to present to you your Gaston County Commissioners, beginning on my right.
Alan Fraley, Cherryville Township.
Good evening, Nikki Price, Southport Township.
Good evening, Jason Williams, Gastonia Township.
Good evening, Joe Carpenter, Crowders Mountain Township.
Thank you, gentlemen. Our first item is the business agenda. Are there any revisions? Commissioner Price.
Thank you. I'd like to ask the manager on items F and N, if we ran out of drug forfeiture money and couldn't use it on F like we use it on N. One of them, F is coming out of fund balance and N is coming out of drug asset. If
Commissioner Price, those items are indeed covered by drug forfeiture money to a large extent. The remainder will come out of special fund balance. It's not general fund balance, is what I think. Is that accurate, Brian? I believe that's the case. So it won't impact our general fund balance.
Mine says fund balance.
It is fund balance.
That's what it says. I didn't know we had a special fund balance.
Double secret.
Yeah, something Joe and Tom had.
Those funds in item F are coming out of the CAD funds from the 911 surcharge. Those are earmarked just for those types of costs.
Okay. Would that need, that's not clarified like Commissioner Price said. Is it in the board action?
I'm sorry, it's pulled up now. Those funds, actually, item F for the $47,575 are actually general fund balance figures, not under CAD. I'm sorry. The drug forfeiture funds paying for the other item are restricted, that can't be used to supplant county funds. And since item F is actually an ongoing county operation, those can't be covered under the drug forfeiture funds.
No, it is the general fund.
It is general fund for item F. That's for the radio communications.
So drug forfeiture cannot be used?
No. No.
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification.
You know, something that may be helpful, too, in the future, when you're making up, like this board action, if it's not eligible for drug forfeiture money, at least, maybe put that in there. That would be helpful. Okay. Commissioner Price, are you through? Yes. Okay. Commissioner Williams?
To that point, the funds that Mr. Moore was talking about that were earmarked, the 911, can we use those? We couldn't use those funds? Okay. It just seemed like that would fit in pretty neatly into what this is.
The CAD funds that I had mentioned are restricted by the state, and they can only be used for dispatch purposes. And that line is pretty clear. We at one time were able to fund some things, and the state has restricted those further over the last few years. Radio systems are not covered under those Fund 24 funds.
Thank you for that clarification.
Do we know how much money is left in the drug asset forfeiture fund balance? Does that have a balance?
After you back out the radios, and there's another item that will be used to purchase
item M,
a bomb truck.
Correct.
I think will be around $97,000 when the books are closed on FY16.
Could we take 47,000 of that at some point in the upcoming budget and trade it out?
Probably not, because of the non-supplant clause that's involved in those funds. It would probably raise the eye of the federal auditors.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Commissioner Price. Okay, any other questions?
Yeah, one question. And
Commissioner
just an explanation.
Keeger.
I don't want to pull it.
Want an explanation, okay?
I think it was H, the hotel.
Is it something
extension?
through his?
Lawyer's building.
Yeah, I just wanted, Earl could just, what's the projection? Is there a final? I only know what I read in the paper, really, and I looked at the agenda, and there wasn't a whole lot of real information as to how far we're going to, do we have a drop-dead end date after this? This is a second, what's the word I'm looking for? Amendment or something?
Now, in this instance, because of the whole place was flooded, I don't think they could help that one.
No, well, that's correct. I think the project was delayed significantly because of the flooding. And, you know, I also would say that anytime you have a structure that is really old and needs that level of rehabilitation, you're going to run into obstacles that make it really challenging as a construction project. So there are projections as to when the project will be completed, but it is somewhat speculative. I believe that every effort is being made to complete the project in the most timely manner possible, but it's taken longer than expected.
Did I hear sometime around July, maybe? Is that correct? Is that what they're shooting for now? Is that, for some reason, I thought I read that.
I think that's pretty accurate.
And if I'm correct, we don't expend any funds until the project's up and running and completed. Am I correct in that? So even if it takes them a little bit longer, it's
true.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board about the agenda? Okay, this time I'll entertain a motion to
So
approve
moved.
the agenda. Motion made by Commissioner Carpenter, seconded by Commissioner Brown. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Okay, our next item is the approval of minutes. I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes as stated.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Price, seconded by Commissioner Williams. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. We have no one signed up for citizen recognition. Okay. Our next item is the consent agenda. At this time, I will entertain a motion. Motion to approve the consent agenda. Motion made by Commissioner Fraley. Seconded by Commissioner Williams. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. There are no non-consent items. Okay. Our next item is appointments. Commissioner Fraley.
I have one reappointment, Lee Spock, to the Family Advisory Board.
I'll second that. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Commissioner Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have one as well to the Caramon Health Board. That was Tim Goss.
Any discussion? All in favor? Commissioner Price.
Thank you. I have three. To reappoint Gerald Liska to the Family Advisory Board, to appoint our new Chief of Police, Joseph Ramey, to the Juvenile Crime Prevention Council, and to reappoint Sheila Merrill to the Nursing Home Community Advisory Committee.
Any discussion? All in favor? Excuse me, motion carries. Commissioner Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've got several. The Adult Care Home Community Advisory Committee, Carl Baber. Council on Aging, Thomas Hauer. Also, Council on Aging, June Jones. The Region F Aging Advisory Committee, also June Jones. Economic Development Commission, Robert Brown. Fire Advisory Board, Charles L. Moore. Sarah Local Planning Committee, Bill Lee.
I will second those. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Commissioner Carpenter.
I have three reappointments and one new appointment. The Fireman Advisory Board reappointment is Craig Hufstatler. To the Sarah Local Planning, a new appointment would be John Watts. A recommended reappointment to Sarah Local Planning, Tim Gauss. And Transportation Advisory Board, Carolyn Dow.
Seconded by Commissioner Fraley. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Commissioner Keeger.
Thank you. Linda McConnell reappointed to the Family Advisory Board, Mike Lands to the same, and reappointment of Matt Knupp to the Fire Advisory Board.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion is made. I think the clerk has a question. Commissioner Keeger?
No.
Okay. Okay, I have a couple as well. I'll make these as one. Bill Lineberger for the Adult Care Home Community Advisory Committee. June Jones. Oh, you already did that one. Excuse me. Jennifer Stepp to the Family Advisory Board. Okay. And Josh Crisp to be reappointed to the Sarah Local Planning Committee.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Keeger. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Okay. Our next item is chairman vacancies. Okay. My assumption is, Joe, you would still want to serve on COG?
Yes.
Your remaining year, that Commissioner Williams would still want to serve on COG his remaining year. That I would be a commissioner alternate to the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners.
Yep.
Commissioner Carpenter would be the commissioner delegate to the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners. And the Transportation Advisory Committee is blank. Is there someone that would like to hold that? Okay. If those vacancies are okay with the board, filling those with what I just requested, I'll make a motion.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Keeger. Any discussion?
We'll say we better start thinking after next year.
Yeah.
We're going to have to roll the dice or something.
Yeah. Joe has served many years on these boards. Thank you, Commissioner Carpenter. All in favor? Thank you. The Equalization and Review Board. Okay, there is a motion or recommendation to make Miles Hamrick the chairman of the Equalization and Review Board.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I can't find it now, but I was reading the, I think Donna's message to us on that. Where would I find that, Donna? Right on these sheets, I think. Where she gives the explanation, if we did this, this person could move up. And anybody see that?
Okay, yeah, but that's on the next one, but that would have nothing to do with
Oh,
this one.
I'm sorry.
Okay, motion, as far as chairman, motions made by Commissioner Williams for Miles Hamrick, seconded by Commissioner Brown. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Okay, the next are full board vacancies. We will begin with the Caramount Health Gaston Memorial Hospital Board of Directors. We have Commissioner Williams up. I will make the motion for Commissioner Williams.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Carpenter. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? The decision is unanimous. Okay. The next is the Charlotte Regional Partnership. I still would like to serve on that. Motion made by Commissioner Price, seconded by Commissioner Brown. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Okay, Commissioner Keeger, this is the Equalization Review Board. Here's what we have. There are two at-large positions available. The one reappointment currently requested is George Mason, and we have a pick between Patrick Kelly, Conrad Pogorgowski, and Joey Arthurs.
Well, I'll make the first motion, see if it passes, with the recommendation, the first one. And then...
You're talking about Mr.
George
Mason?
Yes.
Okay, you want to do these separate?
You're the chairman.
Okay, there's a motion on the table to appoint George Mason. Motion made by Commissioner Keeger, seconded by Commissioner Price. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Okay.
Then the second half of that, if I could, it's up to the board, of course, but I'd like to put Conrad back on there. I think there was something a little strange that happened when he went off that a couple of years ago. I'm not quite sure, but anyhow, pleasure of the board.
Yep.
Nominate Patrick Kelly.
Okay.
I will second that.
Okay.
I'm looking for a second on that.
Okay, well, there's a second on Commissioner Keeger's as well. And according to the rules, once a name is brought up, you take the first name in consecutive order. Am I correct? Okay, so we would have to go with Commissioner Keeger's. Commissioner Keeger made a motion to appoint Conrad Pogragowski. The second was made by Commissioner Williams. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. It would fall to the next is Patrick Kelly. This motion's made by Commissioner Price, seconded by Commissioner Fraley. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. So the two appointees will be Mr. Mason and Patrick Kelly. Now, if I'm correct, that will still leave Mr. Pogragowski and Mr. Arthurs on the board as alternates. Okay. Or Ms. Arthurs, excuse me. Okay. Fire Advisory Board, Commissioner Brown, do you still want to serve on that? I'll make that motion. Commissioner Fraley seconds it. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Okay. At this time, are there any commissioner committee reports? Commissioner Fraley.
None, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Brown.
Not at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Price.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let the board know I attended the Gaston Family Health Services Board last month. There were no outstanding issues. It was a regular board meeting. I will tell you that the senior total living care over where the Circuit City building used to be that's been renovated we now have enrolled 122 senior adults that are taking part in that program. We do have a waiting list, and the state will only let us take in 6 per month. That building is also being looked at with a possible architectural review to add a memory loss facility, dementia, Alzheimer's, a little over 4,000 square feet that's being considered for an addition there. Also attended the Department of Health and Human Services. The thing I'll bring up there is we have a vacancy rate of 11% in the public health side and a vacancy rate of 9% in the social services, with a total lapse salary through September of $640,840 thus far. That's all my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Price. Commissioner Williams.
None at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Carpenter.
I would like to make a report on the Central Carolina Council of Government had its annual meeting here at our local conference center, which we had elected officials from all over the region, and as well as some of the staff persons, and our manager was able to attend most of that. It was great to see the interaction between different governments throughout the region. It's how we've tackled a lot of issues that don't stop at the county or city lines, and it's just great to have that here in our in our town, and I feel that they were impressed with Gaston County also. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Carpenter. Commissioner Kieger.
Briefly, at the last college board meeting, we set out the proposed bond project priorities. If this thing gets approved, Gaston County will be allocated, or Gaston College, $5.95 million, and with the total $2 billion, the average amount for 58 schools is $6 million, so we're right on target there. Kerry, I still don't know how the state plans to pay for that, but that's a question for another day. The board did have a really nice recognition and resolution to honor J.A. Dalpiez, and his wife and daughter were able to attend to accept. And happy to announce that over at the County Museum, we, the board, has hired Cindy Moose as the interim director. And I think Cindy spent a good number of years on that board when she was the library director, so I don't think we could have found a local person any more qualified than Cindy. So they'll be searching for a new director. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, county manager's report. I'm sure it's brief.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Actually, I thought I'd really belabor this evening, but no, I will be brief. Just a couple of quick updates. We have been working on the process of recruiting and screening applicants for the Travel and Tourism Director. That process is underway and proceeding pretty well. Have been fielding many inquiries regarding township grants, and you already have the application in your email. Eric sent it to you a few minutes ago. Concluded work on the Career and Technical Education Committee, which was actually a very, very interesting process, and recommendations will be forthcoming on that. And then we have been doing a good deal of financial analysis and discussions with bond counsel as well as with the local government commission regarding the forthcoming school bonds, and that is an interesting process as well. That concludes my report this evening.
Thank you, Earl. County Attorney's report.
I can be briefer. No report, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. We are now under other matters. I have just a few comments, and again, we'll have to adjourn, and at the next meeting, Chuck will bring it live, but we will still have to join.
I got one item under, unless you want to go last.
I'll go last. Go ahead.
Okay. One of the items on the consent agenda tonight was the deletion of the adoption committee. Since we've not acted on it since the report, are we just leaving it as it is in previous years? Is that the way we're leaving it, or was it?
Yes.
I thought Director Dobbins was going to bring us a number if there was possible county savings if a local child was adopted out of foster care, but I haven't heard anything.
From my understanding, he is working on that.
Okay.
The reason the committees have been deleted, the clerk, Ms. Buff, called me. You cannot have outstanding boards. Once they do their work, we have to vote to close those boards down. I am happy to report that one of Gaston County employees has used the adoption grant. You've probably heard from a lot of people that, well, if you adopt locally, it doesn't cost money. It costs this individual several thousands of dollars to adopt. She lives here in Gaston County, out of the Gaston County foster system, several thousand. And according to the numbers we saw, just that one adoption could save close to $100,000 to the taxpayer. So that has been used, and it has been a benefit, and I think that's a good thing. It's a very good question. Okay. Is that it? Okay. I just have a couple things. First, I'm happy that to report that I was appointed by Governor McCrory to the North Carolina Works Program Committee. This committee is specifically designed to improve and strategize and implement a plan across the state of North Carolina for workforce development. If anybody knows anything about economic development, at the end of the day, it's about people. And I'm sure all of you have heard the stories that there was a local company. I think they needed 100 positions. And after around 3,000 applicants, they found 3 of those applicants that were actually qualified. So one of the biggest issues facing Gaston County is not just, it is transportation, it is education, but a big driver of that is their people. And a lot of times we don't have people that have the skills to meet the automation and the robotics and things of that nature of the 21st century. So it's an honor. He called and asked if I would serve on this. It's a big deal. It's going to take a lot of time and energy and efforts. But that plan is what will be implemented throughout the state of North Carolina when it comes to workforce development. And I'm really happy to be a part of that. Lastly, this is my last meeting as chairman. I've notified you all in January of this year that I did not want to run again. I actually thought I would have 3 more children here from Ukraine, but that didn't work out. But we're already working on a couple more through the foster care system, so we're still hard at work. I do want to say this. It has truly been an honor to serve as chairman of this board. I respect every single person up here. We do not always get along. Everybody has people that like them and people that don't. But from serving with you, I respect you. I know you make tough decisions. Sometimes you get a pat on the back, and sometimes you get a shoe upside the head. But that's part of the job. But I really thank you for the opportunity to serve. I think what we were able to accomplish in education with this Granicus system, I think what we were able to accomplish at the hospital, I think the list goes on and on. We have done some very good things and things that we can be proud of. And I just want to say that. I have no regrets with serving with you gentlemen. I'm very fortunate to have that opportunity. Everyone doesn't get that opportunity. And I wanted to personally tell you thank you. You're a fine man, and it has been a true pleasure to serve with you. With that said, I will adjourn this meeting. This concludes our meeting for tonight. In just a few moments, we will have an organizational meeting.
Call to order the organizational meeting of the Board of Commissioners. Budget cuts. No gavels. The purpose of our organizational meeting, of course, is to elect officers, to appoint staff, and to set our agenda for the coming year. The first item of business for the meeting tonight is the election of the chairman of the board, and the chair will declare nominations to be open, and Commissioner Carpenter had his hand up.
Yeah, I would nominate Commissioner Tom Keeger for chairman.
Mr. Keeger is nominated. Mr. Brown?
I would nominate Commissioner Mickey Price.
Mr. Price has been nominated. Any further nominations? No further nominations. The chair will declare that nominations are closed, and we'll move to a vote. If the board is prepared, there are no objections. In the order of nominations, by show of hands, those in favor of Mr. Keeger, please raise your hand. And Mr. Price. And that would be 4-3. Congratulations, Mr. Keeger.
Thank you.
I'm not going to give you my gavel. You'll have to get a real one.
Well, I'm good. I'm good. Oh, man, I need the, well, first, thank you. All right, again, thank you. At this time, I will entertain nominations for vice chair for the Board of Commissioners for the following year.
Nominate Mr.
Wait, Mr. Fraley did have his hand up.
Okay.
I'll nominate Chad Brown.
All right. Is there another nomination?
I nominate Jason Williams.
Okay, Jason Williams. Anybody else? In the order they were given, all those in favor of Mr. Brown, please show by raising your hand. Thank you. All those for Mr. Williams. Congratulations, Mr. Williams. Now we have to go, I guess, into the agenda for the appointments done.
County manager.
Okay. All right, at this time, we need a motion and a second to appoint the county manager. Mr. Price made the motion, Mr. Brown the second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Thank you, gentlemen. The appointment of the county attorney, I'll entertain a motion and a second.
I'll make the motion.
Mr. Philbeck made the motion, Mr. Brown made the second. Any discussion?
Can we have other nomination?
All right. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Thank you. The board will accept nomination, or, okay, appointment of the clerk. Motion.
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Philbeck makes a motion. Mr. Price makes a second. All those in favor? Thank you. County Board of Commissioners resolution of meetings. They are there for us. The work sessions to be held on the second Tuesday, regular meeting on the fourth Tuesday, with the exception of February 23rd will be combined with the February 9th work session. November 22nd board meeting to be combined with the regular November 10th work session, and the December 27th meeting to be combined with the December 13th work session as of this time. Accept the motion. Mr. Price made the motion. Mr. Carpenter second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Thank you. And the Gaston County Commissioners' approval of the bonds. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Gaston County Board of Commissioners, that in accordance with the North Carolina General Statutes, bonds are hereby set and approved as follows. The Sheriff, Alan Cloninger, $25,000. Registered Deed, Susan Lockridge, $10,000. Interim Financial Service Director, Bryant Moorhead, $50,000. Tax Collector, Jimmy Tanner, $100,000. And Faithful Performance Blanket Bond, $500,000. Entertain a motion in a second.
Second.
Mr. Price made the motion, Mr. Carpenter the second. Any discussion? All those in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you. Two more.
Legislative.
Gaston County Commissioners' resolution of meeting with the legislative delegation. Whereas the Board of County Commissioners of Gaston County recognizes the need to have regular and open communication with the legislative delegation representing the citizens of Gaston County in North Carolina. And whereas meetings of the Board of County Commissioners and the legislative delegation have been helpful in the past, and this practice should be continued. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of County Commissioners of Gaston County will meet with the aforementioned legislative delegation as required during the year. Be it further resolved that the time and place of the aforementioned meetings are to be scheduled by the chair after consultation with the members of the legislative delegation. Everybody understand that? Okay, that's not on here, but
You just need to decide and vote if that's okay.
what is that?
You approve it.
That's,
It's on a Friday.
per word forward, and schedule that.
Do you know what day of the week it is?
Friday.
Friday? Okay.
Ask if we could do it at the same time.
Or just after.
Okay, so Friday, January 29th, at a time and place to be designated later. Does that sound right? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if we're not positive, we'll just to a place and time later. Entertain a motion?
I think we
Oh, we did? Donna?
I don't have them, I didn't
I'll
have
make
the
a motion.
motions.
Mr. Carpenter and Mr. Philbeck second. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Thank you. The annual planning session, why don't we all, towards the end of January, 1st of February, let Donna know over the next week what weekends work best, probably half a day Friday and sometimes Saturday. And then Donna will let us know and we'll pick from there. Motion?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Philbeck, Mr. Williams, second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay. I think that takes care of the agenda business. I will just say a couple of things. I've been up here almost as long as Joe. Joe's been here 20. This is my 18th, and you see some strange things happen over the years. You see us fighting, you see us disagreeing, but when it's said and done, we've got to do what's best for the people. And I think that we have in recent years, especially with education, the technology park, made strides, but we've got to strive to just do more. We do. I mean, we are slow. Transportation is one reason. I will not deny that. Something's got to happen across that river down there to get people out of the southern part of the county and get people into the southern part of the county. The other thing I want to bring up that I'm sitting here thinking about is, this is strange, I tried to go visit old friends of ours today, Bill and Wilma Craig. Many of you probably know Bill or Wilma. They have a farm out South Union New Hope Road with those banded Galloways, the white cows with the black ring around them. And they've not been in great health lately, unfortunately, and they've moved to an assisted living facility. And I've been trying to get there the last 2 weeks, and I almost got there today just to visit them. And the reason I bring them up is that, elected people are going to get criticized, and that's fine. My skin's tough. Most of the people up here, their skin's tough. But what I don't like, never have liked, and never will like, are these armchair quarterbacks that will send these letters to the editor, feedback letters, for example, and they're just getting down, and they don't get up off their butt to do a darn thing. They just sit and gripe and complain. Bill and Wilma had issues with this board over the years, but they served on so many different boards and committees for us, and they came to the meeting wanting to help, not just sit there and moan and groan. No, I'm going to slip sooner or later. But I just invite the public, as I'm sure everybody up here does, to work with us, tell us what's right, tell us what we're not doing right, let's be constructive and move forward. Let's get this county more progressive. Let's get some transportation going. Let's keep education pounding. And, we're just 7 regular people. That's it. And without the assistance and the help and working together, we're just going to keep staying where we are. So that said, I will just ask the board if anybody would like any kind of closing remark. All right. I would also like to thank Mr. Moore, Mr. Winters, and our clerk, Donna Buff, for their patience. And I will...
I would like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
Okay.
And a Happy New Year. We'll see you next year.
Okay. We're done.